guys. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got quite a large group of people today. Maybe our biggest live stream ever. So thank you very much for coming and to entertain all the people who are coming in to do some splattering as we natter. So much appreciated. Looks like Tom's here, Dwarf and Mustache, hobbying. So how you going, Tom? Thanks very much for joining us, mate. All right, let's get stuck in. I'm sure everyone's got some exciting stuff to work on. Padre, how about you, mate? What are you working on today?
A whole bunch of stuff. Doing the flesh on a regiment of Pistoliers, War Games Atlantic, and then for the next campaign story, I need a host of characters. So I've got this bunch of dwarves and Tylians. I've got a guy reading a book who can be narrating. So yeah, it means it's going to be a while before I can do the story. I've got a lot to paint before I can do it.
All right, okay, mate. Nice one. Matthias, how about you, mate? What are you up to?
I'm painting the war wagon, or the crew right now. So yeah, painting around that one, and I got some other stuff here. I got one of the last wizards I need to paint for my Empire army, and yeah, Hellblaster. So I'll keep myself busy for a while.
Good stuff, mate. How's that resin on that war wagon? Is it okay?
Yeah. It's I would say the actual war wagon is a whole lot easier to work with than compared to the metal version. That was sort of a pain to get together, but yeah, it's been good so far.
Okay, that's good, mate. And Danny, how you going, Danny?
You alright, mate? How you doing?
Good on you, mate. Enjoyed their last video of the tentacled marines that are from Slaanesh, Emperor's Children.
Oh yeah, the vets and that, the veterans. Yeah. It was It's a bit of a long video. I reckon I could probably have cut out most of it, but by the time I got through editing it, I put so much work into it. I thought, no, it's staying.
Yeah, no, it was good, mate. I enjoyed that, and especially the bikers in the background. That was funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have them down the end of the road. They do love whizzing past on their scrammies and stuff. Drive you nuts half the time, to be fair.
Yeah, it would do for me too, mate. What are you working on today, mate?
Some Blood Angel Terminators for Rich. Rogue Trader ones painted up in the same style as they were in the Angels of Death Codex.
Right. Okay. So it's got the black shoulder pads.
Yeah, the sergeant has. Yeah, he's actually. I've actually built the banner. Oh, hang on. Let me see if the camera's working. OBS.
Oh. Danny just deleted himself. Eavy, how you going, mate? What are you working on? Hey!
Yeah,
wow.
I'm painting up Space Hulk Terminators, and they're also Blood Angels, so it seems Blood Angels is a bit of a theme. So just
gee, okay.
Here's a fully painted one.
Right.
But I need to paint the base up, but I'll paint that black. And I want to put flames on the flame markings on top of the flamer, but
cool.
That's what I'm aiming for. I've got the rest of the squad to do. I was watching, was it Life of Die? They did these fabulous.
Oh yeah.
The great videos on Space Hulk, and it made me go, you know what? I need to get going on more.
Good on you, mate.
Which I've had to sat around for
3 decades
and decades, and just
yeah.
So that's what I'm up to.
Good on you, mate. Just to let you know, your voice is coming through very crackly and cackly. I don't know why. There's something wrong with the audio, mate. So.
Oh, is there?
Just check your settings, mate. And it's coming very, very faintly too. I don't know why. So, just have a look. I'll add Danny back in. Danny's back in. Danny, do you
I'm back.
get hooked up, mate?
Yeah, my GoPro's not working, so let's see if it comes through on here. So I've done.
Okay, mate.
I don't think it comes through very well, does it? There we go. So there we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nice. That's good, man.
Yeah, I've built the banner pole I made out of a couple of bits of paper clip with some green stuff down the bottom of it to make it look like it's actually part of the armor rather than just paper clip stuck on it. And then a bit of green stuff around the middle of it there to make it look like something. And that part there is from the Primaris upgrade sprue for Blood Angels.
Right. Okay, that looks really nice. That and the arms, like the arms on it, are they from that second edition era?
No, these are the Rogue Trader arms, I believe.
Right. I thought so.
Yeah.
Nice, mate. It looks really, really nice too. Actually, really good.
Yeah.
And Tom, how you going, Tom?
Hey, yeah, all good, thank you.
You can hear me, mate. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
New headset on. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and like the sound is vastly improved. Although I can't like regulate the volume of my own voice because these are like noise cancelling.
Right.
But I am working on a wall to go with the classic cardboard building. So I've got like a load of modeling clay and I'm just building bricks.
Awesome, mate. Good stuff. Nice one. Okay, I think 80's back. We'll just try 80 again. No. 80. Sorry, it's limited to 6 people. I thought it said 10 people here. Uh-oh. I might have to disinject myself in that case. Poor bugger.
Oh, oops. Hey, I can hop out if you need.
No, it's okay, mate. I'll just send him a message, mate. I didn't realize it. I thought it was 10. I'm sure it said 10 people.
Oh, are you slumming it with the free version?
The studio is limited to 6 people on screen. Please remove someone before adding another. Upgrade if you need more. Okay. All right. We'll have to share the screen time then. I'm afraid, guys. Apologies for that. As I've always been saying, oh yeah, you can have 10 people at the same time, but only if it looks like Okay, let me just message 80 then.
Talking about walls, I was working on some walls earlier. I needed ruins for a scene. A city that's been a stone city, a grey stone city that's been burnt out. So I went into the loft and I found toys from the 1970s. They're old Timpo, I think, ruins.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, I'd never, ever used them because they had shell holes and bullet holes in them. And I thought, that doesn't look good for fantasy. So I've filled in the shell holes and the bullet holes with milliput. So I'm using 154mm Timpo scenery, and I'll be able to make some background scenes there. I've made piles of bricks and such to go in front as if they collapse. And I'm even going to paint up for further in the background. I found this that I must have used in the early 80s. I've even got a Russian star painted on it. It's an Airfix one. And in the distance, that'll add more grey stone ruins so that there'll be a depth to the photographs. So I've been scrabbling up everything I can. Like, you've got to make piles of rubble to put in front of them so they actually... Otherwise, you've got a collapsed wall or a broken wall that doesn't have any debris around it. So I've got to make these piles of stones to go around it. Every time I do one of these jobs, I realise there's more involved than I think. But anyway, I even found, this is great, already ruined wood. Isn't that marvellous? From some Airfix thing in the past. So I can paint that up. I don't know why I only painted part of the back of it. It was obviously used in my toy soldier games. So yeah, it's funny you should mention walls. When I spent the afternoon faffing around trying to remove the bullet holes from some old 1970s walls.
Okay, good, mate. Yeah, we'll have 80. Just try 80. 80, back, mate?
Yeah,
back. Yeah, it sounds much better, mate. Sorry about that before, mate. I didn't realise there was a limit to 6 people, and
yeah,
Tom,
sorry about that. I came in and crashed the place.
No, not at all, mate. No, it was my fault. I thought it always said 10 people, but it obviously is that's for the upgraded StreamYard, not the basic StreamYard. So
Yeah.
Tom very kindly left the group, so you can come back in, 80. We can see the Blood Angels being painted in live time.
Lifetime, yeah. Oh, sorry, Tom. I don't mean to push you out.
That means we have an exclusive 6-seater booking now for every week. So, but Matt, good to see you back, mate. Yeah, good to see you back, mate, my friend. Thank you very much for joining us. And it looks like you have such a array of things on your table. We need to go through and have a look at that. What are you working on, mate?
Oh, me, yeah. So on our campaign map, we have 2 armies of barbarians butting heads. So I had to throw all these together over the last couple days.
Right.
Because the whole thing's on a calendar, right? So it's a timed event. And one of them has a unit of 10 Norse dwarves with them. So I'm raiding my this ancient box of plastics for a few of them, and I've got a couple little classics in here.
Classics. Yeah,
from Black Arrow minis, actually.
Oh, good on you, mate. Thank you for supporting Squad of Black Arrow minis.
Yeah, and I found on his site too, I found this Ral Partha Dwarven Axe Master, so-called, that I thought looked pretty cool. I was going to throw him in there. There's a little classic.
Oh, yeah. He's a classic.
Dwarf there.
Yeah.
And I've got the Hero Quest Dwarf.
Hey, there he
leading
is.
them.
The best of them all.
Yeah. Most powerful.
Exactly.
We recently did so at the outset of a battle, players have the option of running a little scout skirmish if they want, and I've folded in some Tony Bath style rules for the because he wrote about extensively about his campaign, and he had a scouting mini game that he would run that would dictate, who had the edge on things like deployment and stuff in the actual battle. So we played a little tiny, basically 10 versus 10 scout skirmish game at the outset of this battle. So the big one is either Monday or Tuesday. I think Tuesday, because I've got some stuff going on Monday. But yeah, just trying to get ready for that. Yeah.
Good on you. Well, the Mega Hammer boys are keeping you very busy. That's for sure.
Yeah, Skidge and his
Skidge. Okay.
Barbarian Warlord.
Nice, mate. That's fantastic. Really good to hear. Then good to see that. Excellent.
Yeah. So it's trucking along.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, well, as everyone's really busy getting stuck in, I hope everyone in the live chat is doing the same. So I just want to go through and just say hello to a few people who've joined since we went live. So there's Tom at Dwarven Mustache Hobbying. How you going, Tom? Now's by Hilly. That's Danny's better half. Sci-Fi. How you going, mate? That's Cameron, Kraken's Wake. And bringing Battle Wargaming. It must be either Jason or Richard there. Bleedtron. How you going, mate? Good to see you here. Matt W. Good to see you, Matt. Who else have we got here? Mephistopheles? I can't pronounce it. It's too early in the morning here, mate. How you going? Good to see you here. Chief Indian. Exclusive. It certainly is. Luke Farrell. Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much, Luke. We are indeed. Okay. Let's get the painting on. I might just I think I'm tempted to do Blood Angels now for Epic. Now that everyone's doing Blood Angels, but I've got some Epic Eldar here. I might be working on today.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've got the Lord of Battles sat on my desk for a very, very soon up and coming video. I'm looking forward to painting that one.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I haven't sent you any photos, mate. Apologise about that, but you have to bug me consistently to do it because I'm just so bloody busy that I'll just.
Oh, that's all good, mate. That's all right, mate. I'm not in a massive rush for it at the moment. Like I say, I haven't started doing it yet, so as soon as it gets close to me actually doing it, I'll give you another couple of nudges.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Do that.
Yeah, because if you can send us through a photo of his banner and that lot, then I can just if you can put some like a ruler next to it when you do it or something, that'd be awesome, because then I can just basically get my brother to tinker around with it in Photoshop so it prints out the exact right size and that lot.
Well, I tell you what, just thinking about that, James, that's Jim Walsh or James Walsh. He recently did 2 of them, and I'm pretty sure he scanned those in. I need to contact him about that and ask him on your behalf. He'll probably join this chat today, actually, because he's always here. He's in the UK. And yeah, I'll get in touch with him, mate, and see how he did his, because he did 2 of those recently.
Yeah.
Very nice. And I think he scanned those in, mate. So.
Oh, right. Yeah, that'd be cool. Because I found a couple of photos in like the Odd White Dwarf or the Space Marine Battles book. I've just got that, but it's at a slightly wrong angle sort of thing. So I wasn't too sure about that.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm sure James can enlighten us, mate, about all that at some point.
Yeah, I think I've settled on what army I'm going to build up first for Chaos as well. It's actually the first battle report that's in the Epic Space Marines battle book.
Oh yeah, against the Blood Angels.
Yeah, Blood Angels versus Chaos.
That's Chaos at Kadovar, I think that battle report is.
Yeah, it is. That is the one.
Hey, talking battle reports. From the interview and the last Splatter Natter, I can't remember where, but someone suggested I turn the first edition 1984 game of Warhammer Fantasy Battles into a video. Use the one where we did it in 2012, and we used only figures and scenery I had in 1984. And I've done it. I've done 2 of them. I've done the first part and the second part. I don't suppose any of you saw it.
I did. Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, good.
Especially because we actually recently played a first edition game using the roleplay rules and all that stuff. So it was
right.
It was neat to see somebody taking a crack at it too.
Yeah, I let a little bit too much time pass between writing it originally, doing it and writing it, and turning it into a video. So it's now 13 years since we did the reenactment, which left me, as I was narrating it, thinking, I hope I got all this information right. But I do remember taking it seriously at the time and trying to apply the rules as close as we could. The trouble is, everything was muddied by the fact that I was playing 8th edition at the time and trying to remember 1st edition, having played 6 editions in between the 2, and all those rules were muddled around in my head. And
that happens. Yeah. I get confused across all of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like I ought to do it again, a reenactment of the reenactment, just to get those, use the figures again.
I would complain about more.
Deeper around the rules, because I don't remember having any difficulties with the rules. We didn't used to have arguments with the rules or over the rules. We were often playing mastered games, but I just remember complete and utter fun. There was some cheating over dice rolls and such, but no one seemed to struggle with the rules in the way that they often do nowadays, to do with I don't know, charge arcs and a weird paragraph concerning terror tests and blah blah blah. We struggled in the reenactment with the rules, but I don't remember doing it back in 1983 and 1984.
Yeah, I don't remember having arguments either. But I was always the one to introduce everybody to this weird stuff, so they just assumed I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, to be honest, I was as well, and I was usually games mastering, or very often games mastering. So yeah, of course, I'm hardly going to argue. If I'm adjudicating, I won't remember arguments because I'll just said, "I'll do it this way."
Yeah. Yeah, but now everybody's an expert. Yeah. So everybody's a comedian and an expert.
I'll definitely check those out, Padre. I didn't realize they were first edition ones, so I haven't checked those out yet, mate. I'll do that soon. So I'll be interested to see how that goes, mate.
Yeah, I set it in November 1984 because the Forces of Fancy, the brown and white box, had come out with the 3 books. So I thought, all right, that means that'll help me. If I tried to do it as we were playing in the first year, that would have been even more difficult. But at least the Forces of Fancy gave us descriptions and rules for the units and such. Quite specific rules, like Red Goblins had to have their wolf riders had to be in units of 5. Kind of weird little specific things for a world that was a generic fancy world with men of the West and men of the North. You thought, so why are all these intricate details just scattered here and there? Why haven't you given us all free reign? But yeah, I said it then. I think the only figure in it, and I only found this out with the video, there's a figure in there that I don't know if I would have had. I know it was around in 1985, and it's the Gandalf figure on Shadowfax. And I think it's because Games Workshop got the license in 1985 to make Middle-earth figures from another company. I don't know if it's Ral Partha or whatever. So I thought I had it at the time, but I can't have done, unless when they got the license, they actually got the range of figures. But that makes no sense. The license is a license to make your own figures, not to take another manufacturer's range of figures and start selling them. So I think that one figure is the one that shouldn't have been there, but only by about 6 months. We were ballpark 1984.
Yeah, I enjoyed the framing of what you were doing with trying to, as best as you could, recreate that situation at the table.
Going up into the loft was a revelation. That's why I found all this scenery I've been working on today, because I found all this stuff and thought, hang on, there's stuff here I could use in my campaign. But finding, for example, Jezza, my old friend of the time, finding his character sheet on a tiny piece of paper in his 14-year-old scribbled writing with silly little doodles all over it. And it's the action. It's like finding a historical artifact.
Yeah.
It's a piece of paper from somewhere in the vicinity of 1983, 1984. That
belongs in a museum.
Yeah. And I was thinking, wow. So I included that in the introduction. Because the introduction I went up into the loft and got a lot of the old Airfix stuff down. I wanted to explain how a boy of around, what age would I have been? Around 15, 16, just leapt straight into Warhammer. And I wanted to show all the stuff we'd been doing before, or a taste of the stuff we'd been doing beforehand, the kind of toy soldier games we've been doing. Of course, Warhammer transformed all of that. I mean, it would have been, if Warhammer had come along, I'm sure I would have just found some proper war game, and that would have transformed it all. But up till then, we were using our own rules and somehow playing with toy soldiers using Traveller role-playing rules. Just because they were the only rules anyone owned. So we turned them into everything. We turned them into medieval siege assaults and such. Not quite sure how we did it. I can't find any of that paperwork. That's too far back. That stuff's gone. But from 84 onwards, I've got quite a good record. all the old maps and such of the worlds I created. Yeah.
Yep. So if one were to actually test first edition for the first time, I had the rules, but I never played it. I got into it in fourth edition, but I'm kind of keen to try it on. But how should one go about it? So where to start? You know, I don't know if it's. I don't remember. Are there even points in a sense, or?
Later they had them, yeah.
Yeah, Forces of Fantasy Limited. You had to have. You had to create your armies.
I only have what's in the box, the original box. So
Yeah.
I don't.
You can also roll on the employment table as well in the
Yeah.
original 3 books.
Yeah, Forces of Fantasy arranged everything. You had to arrange everything in 1,000-point battalions. If you watch the video, you'll see one battalion in the example one was Colin the Mad Necromancer or something. Colin the Insane Necromancer. And he was 1,000 points himself. There were some weird things in it. Why one wizard could be 1,000 points and then the other 1,000 points could be like 100 figures. It was strange. The wizards were really ridiculously expensive.
Maybe to enforce rarity, you know, a little bit of
certainly would
weird
have
world
done.
flavoring or something. Like, there's not
Yeah.
many of these guys.
I mean, I
Okay,
was
so
lucky because the figures existed, so I had a head. I just got the old boxes out. Thought, right, this is what I built armies out of it at the time, so I can create the reenactment armies out of them. It's not proper reenactment if you're using the original stuff, is it? I should have been using facsimiles of figures from 1984, not actual figures.
Nah, it was nutrient rich, I thought.
Nutrient rich. I like that. Oh yeah, some of the guys in the comments did see it. Luke Farrell said he started playing in 1988, so he's 4 years later. I mean, we did start in 1983 with the first lot, and then Forces of Fantasy was our first. You know, that was the first big surprise in the Warhammer world. Beyond it being there at all, it was just, oh right, this is really useful. And then the next big surprise was actually creating a world for us to play in. Never occurred to us that they'd give us a world to play in as well, instead of us all having to make our own world up.
Yeah, we didn't try first edition till like a couple years ago, so I absolutely didn't grow up with it.
Right.
This was a retroactive kind of experiment.
Do you mean first edition Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay? Or the
No.
actual-
The little 3 black books.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the confusion that's been going on. People have been assuming I've done the roleplay, but
Because there was roleplay in there, right?
it
Like,
was, yeah,
there's-
it was the mass combat fantasy role-playing game. That's what the title was. Yeah.
And you could army it. You could, that's what we did. We we just kind of randomized everything, and we did a little heroic adventure with it, and then did a little pitched battle. Rolled on the employment table. We got jobs as farm hands, and then the farm was attacked by orcs or whatever. My character got his leg amputated on the injury table there. So anytime I play with my friend Mark, like if I'm running a character as well, he gets like either brutally murdered or maimed in some horrific way. No matter what system we're trying out.
That's brutal.
There was quite a bit of randomization in it. I'd forgotten that when you paid for a wizard, say you paid for a skeleton champion, you then had to roll a d6, and there were 6 different lines of stats, from utterly pathetic and almost as bad as a single ordinary skeleton to amazing. So even though you'd paid the points, it was then random chance.
You were still, and we're playing a lot of third edition right now, and there's a lot of that in there too, especially if you're working with anything that has a whiff of chaos in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Your Jabberwock can wind up hopelessly stupid, or whatever.
Yeah, you have these D1000 shots in the.
Yeah, all that stuff too. Yeah, and I like it. I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Certainly not competitive by any means, but
no. Tournament play would be.
Yeah, a lot of flavor though. And I really like that. I like the zaniness of it.
Personally, I think any game that leans as far away as possible from competitive or tournament style play is the best sort of game there is, really.
Yeah, I get bored pretty quickly with competitive only kind of stuff.
I enjoy a lot of, I like to say, a bit of not quite randomness, but stuff that can be worked out. You know, competitive play requires everything to be far too rigid.
Yeah. And there's usually never a wider context of, you know, why these little plastic guys are killing each other either.
No.
So it becomes it's like you may as well be playing Monopoly or something.
Yeah. It does.
Sorry, I don't mean to knock it.
Oh no, I mean, I've got one of my mates. He really enjoys the competitive play.
Yeah, and it's legitimate. I think it's cool when you can have. I mean, even D&D did this too back in the day too. They had competitions and stuff, and I think it's cool that it can be played that way. You know.
Yeah.
That people can kind of produce a competitive structure out of something that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting they had in the early days of Games Day, you could have a competitive game of Advanced Hero Quest.
Yeah.
So
Really?
how did that work?
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoever could get through the dungeon fastest, I guess, or something. Most money.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Funny,
Yeah,
huh?
it's cool though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'd be definitely up for that, I think.
yeah, I don't know what it is about competitive play that's never gelled with me. I've tried it a couple of times, but it's not a style of play that I've ever managed to get on with.
No,
Yeah.
me neither.
I think there's too much optimizing going on for the way I like to play, because I literally just look at the models, go, I like that, and then figure out what they do and then where they fit afterwards. And you just can't do that if you're in competitive play. Well, it's not if you want to. Well, I don't know. I mean, because you don't have to win to enjoy it, I guess. But it kind of, if you're not playing to win, then why are you playing in a competitive game? I don't know.
But I find it's the role-playing element. That first ever Warhammer had role-playing in the title. We used it for a role-playing game. We were playing, in effect, D&D with it, just using those rules and having to add everything else in that it was missing, like price lists and such, and the religions in the world. But because we started that way, or because I started that way, I never saw war games, the focus of war games being competition. To me, that was the focus of sport, whereas war games were a chance to bring a story to life on the field, either as a one-off or as part of a campaign. So I approached every army always as a themed army, never as a rules-based, min-maxed, competitive force in a tournament sense. But yeah, so some of it I think comes from where you start, your original approach. I got into the hobby for that side of it, and was just confused by the earnestness of the competitive side of it, rather than let's all create this story together and have fun and watch it unfold like you're watching a movie in 28mm scale, you know.
Yeah, marketing and framing I think is a lot of it too, right? Like how it's packaged and what you're told about it by the official channel.
Well, several of the rule books used to, even till quite recently, you know, these are, make your own world out of this, use your imagination. This is a springboard for you to do all sorts of things, conversions of this, that, and the other.
Yeah, here's a set of simulation guidelines, right, that you can bring something to life.
Yeah. I did try competitive games when I was at university. Went to the student nationals. I've got trophies. I can't remember how, but I've got trophies for 3rd edition Warhammer. But I don't think I was playing professionals. I was playing other students, so I don't think anyone really knew what we were doing.
Yeah, the further a game system gets away from, a simulation aspect, the more I lose interest, I think.
Yeah.
When it becomes more about like, oh, how do I interestingly synergize these mechanics to win, as opposed to like, here's a stat line for a basic human, here's a stat line for a space gun, like,
yeah,
this guy can use it this way, this,
I suppose there's such a vast, there's a vast array of different approaches to gaming. It's like with painting. Keep meeting people who just paint figures. They never game with them. I've never painted a figure unless I had use for it, an upcoming use for it in a war game or a role-playing game. Now I lie. I now have to paint them for the video stories, obviously. But that's to connect.
It's still a purpose, though, right? It's still
it's still a purpose. But I've never painted them to put on a shelf. My figures have never been on shelves. They're in big boxes of every colour and every size all around me. I'm surrounded by boxes. It can take me a long time sometimes to find an obscure figure. There is a system, but but yeah, you think that's how everyone's approaching it, but you soon realise there's as many different ways of approaching gaming, prioritizing, and getting enjoyment out of it as there are players.
Yeah. See, I'm basically with the painting side of the hobby is what you just said, but the side that you've never done. For years I was just a collector. Like I didn't actually probably like 10, 12 years I didn't actually play any of the games. I would just walk into a games workshop and just look at all the models on the shelves. It didn't matter what rate, whether it was 40k, fantasy, whatever it was. It didn't have to be even a specific race or anything. If I just looked at the model and went, "Ooh, I like that," I would grab it and paint it.
Yeah.
And I've still got, like, on my shelf, oddly enough, like you say, on the shelf behind me, I've got undead up there. I've got some orcs. I've got some chaos. I've got a couple of grey knights, some ultramarine. It's like a proper mix match of different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and you can absolutely approach any of this like a ship in a bottle style hobby, right? Where it's you're getting it just to build it and just to paint it and display it.
Yeah. Chance of the hobby, and that it really differs for different people. And I mean, for us, first like 4 or 5 years only playing, we didn't paint anything basically in my gaming group. We only played, with basically grey miniatures. But these days, I almost only paint. Play once or twice a year, and that's it. So,
yeah. So, that's something I never did. I've never played with unpainted figures, as if it's some weird default where I think, well, if it's not painted, you can't use it, and it's not some self-inflicted law. It's just for years it didn't occur to me. I thought that was the whole point of it, that it was all part of this one hobby. But my 16-year-old, out of the blue, having had no particular interest in any particular films or comic books or anything, literally a few months ago, he became Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crazy. And
excellent.
Every weekend he comes home with a new set of, 4 figures for each of them, in a different size, in a different format. He's got them in badge form. He's got them in little models you hang off your zips. He's got big ones, small ones, felt ones, plastic ones. He's gone crazy. And I was looking at it thinking, that's strange. What a weird hobby. And then I had to stop myself and think, hang on, you paint toy soldiers and have done for a ridiculous number of decades. But I still found it really strange because he was just buying these things to put them on a shelf and look at them, literally just to collect them. And it's so alien. Whereas an outsider would look at what I do and look at what he does. Oh, so you've both ended up with a bunch of colourful little figures. Yeah. Well, then you're both doing the same thing. And I'm thinking, no, we're not. I'm doing something completely different.
See, on the other end of it, I've known a few people that are where they were just more into the actual playing of the game. Like the fact that painting the models was like they weren't interested in that aspect of it at all.
No.
Yeah.
Like they could just play with just unpainted grey plastic. It didn't matter that it wasn't painted. It's the rules that made the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose if you look... sorry.
No, carry on.
I mean, if you look at the average hobbyist, I think most people that ever get into the hobby, they probably don't ever get a painted army, I would say.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I assume most people just play around with some grey guys, and that's pretty much it. So
yeah, have a couple of models which have had some paint on them, and then the rest of the time it's
I don't think we are, in that sense, representative for the normal hobbyists. But
I've got a friend who war games with pre-printed cardboard cutout figures, and looked at from one particular angle, the armies look fantastic. But what freaks me out is I keep thinking, what would they look like if you walked to the side and looked at them from the side?
They just disappear, right?
No. That sort of thing gives me nightmares. I never want to see them in action because I'll be frightened to change my perspective. It'll be like some weird Doctor Who episode.
Yeah, my sins of playing with unpainted stuff is long and varied. I'd like to play with fully painted everything, but for example, this I'm not going to get 102 men painted by Tuesday, I don't think. But our campaign world is tied to an event calendar kind of thing, like 1-to-1 time, like the old AD&D stuff. So there's a bit of a simulationist meltdown if it's well, these guys couldn't make it to the battle because they didn't have blue and green on them or whatever.
See, that's the thing. Actually, I'm just remembering. So one of my kids enjoys playing the game, but he's not got into the painting side of it. So he wants to give Necromunda a go. I mean, that's really good for me because I love painting the Necromunda gangs up. So I'm gonna be able to paint them up. He can pick it. I can paint it. He'll play with it. But I was actually watching. It was a video of a guy who's on YouTube, does really nice painting. But he said something in his video, which I'm sure he was doing it just to be a bit hyperbolic, but it hit a nerve. And it was that he said that before the 2000s, painting in the hobby wasn't taken seriously. And considering that I've only just got my hands on that face is appropriate. Yeah. Really? Because I've just got my hands on the two books from Golden Demon from the very early days, and the paintwork and the jobs and the conversions and stuff that is in that book is absolutely amazing. I mean, there is certainly different styles are being used today. You'll see more non-metallic metals or in a more smoother style than you used to maybe get. But to say that painting wasn't taken seriously, back in the early days, I think no, not at all. But also, because I was talking to one of my other mates, and he's not massively into the painting side of it. He does do the painting side, but he's not hugely into it. And we were having a talk about it, and just coming onto that, and I was saying to him, it seems like there's almost these days too much emphasis on being the best painter that you can possibly be. Otherwise, you can't actually play the game. Where it's almost kind of gone away from the fact of, if you like playing the game and you don't want to paint the models, you don't have to. There's no law that says you've got to. If you just want to play with your grey plastic, you can play with your grey plastic. If you just want to put on, a couple of coats so it doesn't look like grey plastic with a bit of a wash and a bit of a dry brush, that's it, whatever job done, there's nothing wrong with that. It almost seems as though today there's a bit too much of an emphasis on, making your models look as shiny as the next person does. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's kind of what it seems to be a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's social media. I mean, you compare everything all the time. So
yeah, I was gonna say that exact thing.
Because I mean, back in the days when we started, we had a tiny community. We were 5 people, and that was it. We never really played with anyone else, and took until like 5th edition before we sort of got any other inspiration than what was in White Wolf, really. So we were, we had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, you didn't have YouTube where you could
no
subscribe to a huge amount of people who only paint, right? And they bring it to an insane level.
I never painted with competition in mind, or comparing with another player's figures and such. But I always painted, certainly when it came to trying to create a new army, in the hope that when it first appeared on the field, people would be impressed and say, "Wow!" I wanted that opening of the first Star Wars film moment where the deaths. I wanted people to go, "Oh wow, look at that!" And if I could get that, it made all the effort of painting the entire army seem worthwhile.
Yeah.
But in that initial appearance, it had slightly impressed someone. That was enough.
Yeah, I mean, you want some sort of recognition.
Yeah, and it helps with immersion, certainly, right?
Yeah.
See, that was probably the biggest part of painting the miniatures for me, is the whole immersion side of it. Same with having like painted terrain on the table and stuff like that. I struggle to get into the game if it's not painted and not,
Yeah. I can't role play without figures. I role play Traveller with figures, Warhammer with figures, Star Wars with figures. I'm lying. I did do a whole bunch of games in the 90s that we didn't use figures, but they were set of dreams. There was no way I'd need an infinite number of figures doing an infinite number of things, dressed in an infinite number of ways. So I couldn't do that. So I didn't attempt to do figures for that.
Yeah. That's my problem with our current campaign too, is anything could happen at any moment, and I can't keep up with something new appearing on the map or whatever. So I get as close as I can, and then I'll tidy up afterward if I can.
The trouble with our campaign is I'm constantly trying to predict what I will need from what's going on, and then the player either doesn't give any orders for it, or it goes in the wrong direction, or it dies really early, and then you just think, oh, so I painted the wrong thing. I should have been painting something else.
But I spent 60 hours on that guy. Did you just kill him?
Yeah.
Bastard.
Except it's never a guy. Sometimes it's almost an entire army where you think, oh, right, I've got an entire army of cultists and zombie cultists that I'll never, ever use again. There's several armies where I just think, so when will I ever use any of them again? And they only appeared in 1 or 2 battles.
Yeah. To me, I've got that demon in my brain that's like, you never know.
Oh, yeah.
So do everything.
Yeah. These are... I got that set of War Games Atlantic Classic Fantasy, the villagers and such. And one of them's this guy who I've modelled as reading a book. He can do... Now, instead of showing inked pages when I'm reading from a history book for one of my videos, I can actually have this guy standing there reading from the history book.
That's nice.
Is that the Trader's Toll set?
It's the same plastics for Trader's Toll, mate.
Yes,
Okay.
Guards of Trader's Toll. Yeah, I didn't get the guard set.
I do want those.
Because I've got too many soldiers to paint, but I thought that'll come in really useful. Another good set with who did the wizards? Frostgrave did 2 sets of wizards, male wizards and female wizards. Those boxes are those sprues are so useful.
Oh man, I'm addicted to the Frostgrave kits.
Yeah.
And Oathmark.
So, yeah.
They're glorious. There's a smattering of them here on the table too, as part of this barbarian army.
Well, to be honest, a lot of the Wood Elf characters in our campaign are actually Frostgrave from the Frostgrave wizard set, because they look like they're wearing those kind of the robes and such look just about right.
Yeah.
And if you can't see their ears, you've no idea whether they're pointed or not. So therefore, they're an elf. There's no way I'm going to try and model pointed ears on a 28mm figure. I don't know what the smallest thing is I've ever attempted to model. These guys, these horses, they came with holsters on the thing, but I wanted 2 on every horse. And of course, one had to be empty because the figure is invariably holding one of the pistols. So the other side, I made the holsters out of sprues. I just carved thick sprues to look generally the same shape. So you've got empty holsters on the other side.
Yeah, that's clever.
If you hold them together, there's a slight size difference. But put them on either side of a horse, and no one can ever hold them together again. They can only ever look at one side of the horse.
Good plan.
So I hear the Gathering of Mighty Painters are wrapped up, Matthias. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep. Should be done.
Okay. Well, the cover photo for this Splatter Natter is James Wetherell's Empire Army that he just finished painting on behalf of his father, his late father, which I thought was really nice. So,
yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Of course, Empire is always good. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll be painting a lot of that very soon for a large commission for David. So, looking forward to that. I need to start unpacking it all and putting it all together.
So, about how many points will that be?
I don't know, mate. I have to go through it and check it out. I have to pull everything out, assemble everything, and work out a quote for him, and work out how many points it is, because we're going to play that Idol of Gork campaign with it as well. So it should be enough combined with the stuff I've got here. It should be enough altogether.
Yeah.
I had a message from Matt, my good mate Matt, saying, "Hey Josh, when are you going to paint those goblins? Those 4th edition common goblins?" And I thought, I felt bad about not doing that. That's been sitting there for years now. So I've dug those out. So they're a strange kind of Eldar that's painted in goblin green. But I feel good about painting these guys, putting some paint on these guys. We've left abandoned for many years.
Yeah, finally. I got a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Getting to it 20 years later, 30 years later.
Yeah, mate.
I thought my paint queue was long. And then one of my players gave me a huge box of part finished pike and halberdiers and 18 primed lancers, mounted men-at-arms. And I'm just so excited about it, but I'm starting to think, hang on, there's only one of me.
Yeah.
Why am I taking on hundreds and hundreds of extra figures?
Yeah, mate. I wouldn't. Well, I'll do it with a bill, send them an invoice, at least.
They'll appear in a video at some point, and then I'll be happy.
Equals this many curries, this many beers, this many packs of chips.
I know he's given me these. He's given me them.
Oh, he's given those to you. Oh, right.
Yeah. I'm holding several players' armies, but he actually gave them to me, which is amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Because he's on other projects. I think he's just freeing up space at his house.
Yeah. You become a dumping ground for lost and unwanted miniatures now or something.
He tried to give me his I'm holding his entire campaign army. But I said to him, you can't give me that. I mean, you painted all of that, blah, blah, blah. That's it. I'll keep it here for convenience sake. But that's definitely yours. But the unpainted figures, you think, well, yeah, considering you obviously don't want to paint them. So you kind of think, well, yeah, it's a shame to leave them part done. You might as well finish them off.
Yeah.
Lovely figures. I don't know what manufacturers they are. So I'm going to have to contact him before he forgets, because if they ever do appear in a video, I'm going to have to list them. And I've never seen them.
Okay.
They don't fit on. I tried putting one of them on these Wargame Atlantic horses, and they don't fit on. So I don't think the Wargames Atlantic, but I knew they weren't, because I know what's in their range. Okay,
so they're plastic models then?
Yeah. Yeah, with a mix of metal in there as well. But they're not Perry. I don't know. I'm going to have to... I'll ask him. It's easily resolved, all of this. It's not a big mystery. He'll tell me where he got them from, I'm sure.
Yep.
There's a handful of metals in amongst them that are exactly the same style and size. So I assume they're from the same manufacturer. So it's someone out there like Perry that do both metal and plastic. But I just don't know where they came from.
What kind of models are they?
I'll show you one. See if you recognise it. I've just sprayed the horses. Well, hang on. Maybe they are Perry. And I've just painted mine so long ago because he's put shields on them. I think they're Perry. Why do I not notice that? Maybe it's because the metal ones aren't. Maybe the metal ones are metal colors I haven't seen. Right. There's a metal one.
Okay. Yeah,
but I now realise, I think, so I'm looking at the armour and realising I have actually dealt with this armour before. These are Perry, aren't they? They're the Perry kind of not Renaissance. I can't remember.
Interesting shield design, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's like a Conquistador one. You might have put that might be what's confusing me. You might have mixed and matched some kits because his army was Estalian, so he's probably put Spanish shields on Italian soldiers. So that might be what's throwing me.
Bleatron says late medieval Perry. He says, mate.
Right.
War of the Roses. Tom says.
Ah, right. So not the because I don't have those. My Perrys are the slightly later ones from. I don't think I can find them. Oh yes, I can. Right, I'm going to hold this up and you can tell me what mine are because I'm confused now. Maybe mine are the same. Maybe mine are Wars of the Roses and I just didn't know. Because I do everything fantasy, I don't really care. Right, that's mine. Yeah. Are they the same? Because they don't kind of look... The horse armour looks similar.
Yeah.
They're Perry, but I didn't think they were War of the Roses Perry. Maybe they are. I'm just muddled up. I thought they were Italian wars. But now I bet they're War of the Roses.
Oh. Okay. Well, given the shield designs, it's quite possible.
I'm going to compare. Can't believe it never occurred to me just to hold two of them together and see whether they look like they're the same thing.
I've got a little mystery figure as well.
He's giving me the same. Would you believe it?
Okay. Yeah.
I do own them. I just didn't know I owned them.
Well, there you go, mate. The mystery solved.
Yep.
It's like an antique roadshow, your house, mate, full of all these pictures.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a combination of having too many and getting older. I'm not saying I'm old, but I don't think my memory is as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what this is?
Having too many miniatures because there's no such thing.
Ooh, I don't recognize
I don't know
that.
what he's from. He was Slaughter style, but he's got a shield, molded onto him.
Oh, yeah.
Never seen that.
No.
Nope. No clue.
Yeah.
Don't know, man.
He's going in the barbarian army, but I don't know what his original home was.
Yeah.
He might not know.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he does. Nor does he care.
No.
He has you, mate. He's got you, mate. That's all.
Yeah. He will live, laugh, love, and slay.
His savior
on the table.
Well, at least I put some skin tones in those goblins. I think I might go back to the Eldar stuff now. Get stuck into that. I do want to start focusing on things, as I know I'm sort of jumping around from one thing to the next. I'm sort of quite bad at doing that and never really getting anything finished. So I really need to stick to my guns here.
Yeah, that's
I really
me
want
too.
to see this epic stuff done.
Classic.
I jump around, but in a stingy way. The only reason I was jumping around on these is because I got the flesh out. So I thought, right, everything that needs flesh will have this flesh on them, so that I don't waste any paint and I don't get out. Let it dry.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh boy,
Dark brown.
So John's here. Maelstrom. How you going, mate? Adfmac. Good to see you too. And everybody else is joining the chat. So thanks very much for joining us. Hope you're doing some hobby yourself and getting stuck in. And some long lost project you've been willing to see through and actually get done. I hope that's the case. All right, let's get stuck into this.
So what are you painting for Eldar, Neil?
Just the Wraith Guard and the War Walkers today.
Yeah, I have those on my list as well.
From issue White Dwarf 147, Matthias.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah, absolutely. My first White Dwarf. Yep.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, in that
I
issue,
think the
those
first,
White Walkers
my
appeared.
first White Dwarf. Yeah.
Yeah, we did it together. That was the very first one we did.
Yep.
So I've done one with yourself, 80, and Danny. Matt, we haven't covered your first White Dwarf. Remember that one? Which one that was, mate?
All right. It might have been 200.
200. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have to check if I've done that one.
I was
that
way
one
more
with the-
addicted to the heavy metal painting guide McVeigh stuff. So I didn't have too many White Dwarves. I certainly didn't have a subscription or anything, but yeah, occasionally I'd pick one up, and I think 200 was the first one I got.
Sure. Okay, I think we talked about this before. We're trying to narrow it down to which one it was. So we need to...
Yeah, I had to do
I
some
think that's-
investigating because I couldn't remember, and I looked at the contents
Yeah.
of 200 and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I recognized the
All right.
that illustration of the White Dwarf
Okay.
by I don't remember who it was by, but it's
Wayne England?
he's all veiny
Yeah, I think it was
and bug-eyed and buff and
Yep,
like
that's Wayne England,
wild.
mate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. The late, great Wayne England. Okay, so we'll need to do that one, mate. Padre, what was your first White Dwarf, mate?
Difficult to say. The first White Dwarfs I was reading had Traveller and Dungeons and Dragons articles and scenarios in them, and
Okay.
Somewhere between
I
like 1
own
and
them.
60 or something.
I own bits of them still because I cut out every picture to use in scenarios and such. So I own the massacred White Dwarfs, the earliest ones, all stuck down with yellowing sellotape in very old files in the loft. I was looking at them the other day. So I couldn't tell you which was the first one because they were massacred by me. I
Okay.
used everything I could for my
Yeah,
games.
Gygax had some good articles in some of those early ones.
Saw one the other day of some wild riders. They look like Norse on horse. It was a black and white one. That's as I was flicking through looking for stuff for that video. There were some great illustrations.
Yeah.
There was one of a female kind of looked like a kind of like a cross between a scout and a mage. That was great. In fact, I used to photocopy them, reduce the sizes, and then put them onto character sheets so the players could have the pictures from the White Dwarf as their characters.
Oh, yeah, that's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah, I miss old fantasy art.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Just the whole approach.
Yeah. I can never draw, so I had to chop everything up. I can colour in three-dimensionally quite well, but I can't draw. That's what we're doing right now. We're colouring in 3 dimensions. We're just 3D colouring in.
It's a really rad, tiny colouring book.
Yeah.
You don't need 3D glasses either, which is nice.
It'd be really helpful if they put little numbers on each section of the plastic figure, so you know which colour to put in which part of the figure.
And how's the Blood Angels going, 80? You okay, mate?
Yeah, good. Virtually got them done, actually. Just doing the black shoulder pads on the Sergeant.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'll probably need to give it a second coat.
Yeah.
But these are like the first proper 20 models I painted in I don't know how long. And all painted with contrast paint as well. And I love it. Absolutely.
Oh, good on you, mate.
They're so good.
Contrast paint has started to become a favorite of mine.
I'm actually using some contrast medium right now. The contrast medium I buy like in a bottle like that, and it's really good stuff because I can just mix it with anything, you know. And make anything a contrast. So I'm actually doing that with these goblins and using some like a dark angel green and mixing a little bit of that with the contrast.
It helps. Yeah, I knocked out a ton of Skaven that way.
It does, mate. It really does. I don't mind using it just as like make things like an ink or adding that to ink or glazes or whatever.
And if you start layering on different contrasts, it comes out like it looks like, oh, this is a paint job, you know?
Yeah.
Tinting it with a few different tones and stuff.
Yeah.
I paint very differently from all of you, I think. I've just spray painted. This is my new style using acrylics, which I only started using 5 years ago. Spray them brown. So the prime's brown. And then when you paint them, everything's base colours. And you can leave the brown because that becomes the leather. Paint everything base colours, and then you just apply either a black wash or a brown wash. And then you varnish them. And it's great. It looks 10 times better than anything I ever did in enamels. So I've never played about with... I don't know what contrasts are, unless that is what the shade is. Shades are kind of inky kind of thing. Used to be inks. I remember friends were using inks.
Yeah, contrasts are very similar to inks. It just stains, you know.
Right.
Whatever's under it, and it stains at that.
Well, I accidentally bought a contrast black and had some very confusing sessions with it. Not really sure what I was doing. not occurring to actually look up on Google or YouTube.
Who screwed this paint up?
I just
Why is it so watery?
What I was supposed to do with it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Strange goopy mess.
I'm actually going to go and get some of these Vallejo Express paints and have a go at them. I'm really interested in the yellow, oranges, those really light colors that are less opaque, and like just doing that over whites and stuff. I think that has merit, those colors for contrasts. Personally, so
yeah, I've gotten good results with like painting a red shirt or something. Starting out with yellow or orange contrast and then going over it with like a red shade a few times.
I don't think I'm in the same hobby as you guys. I don't do any of it.
You just do, mate. You just do you.
Yeah.
We're not going to police you, mate, on this Splatter Natter. Don't worry. Looks like Fritz is here from Forge and Brush Gaming. How you going, mate? I know your name's not Fritz, but
Excellent.
Where did Fritz come from, by the way?
East Coast, USA. I can't be any more specific. He's 6 hours behind me. So he's 12 hours behind you, which is the same as 12 hours ahead of you. So I don't know what day it is. No, he's behind you, 12 hours, yes. Or is he? If you go around the world, you end up ahead of people that you were previously behind. I don't know.
It's confusing.
I know Japan's 15 hours ahead of me.
15 hours ahead. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know it always cast some confusion when I start posting up times and links for this Splatter Natter that people don't know. I get the same thing. I'm always confused.
What dimension are you running this in?
I'm like the Doctor and the TARDIS, mate.
Well, a guy in the comments, Arthurian Chronicles, said that I inspired him to open his own narrative channel. Absolutely loves the work, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have to check that out, Arthurian Chronicles.
Well, good, mate. That's great.
That'd be interesting
Nice
to see. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Another YouTuber is born, mate.
Oh, yes. Well,
maybe got to paint his miniatures at the same time. He might send you a package, mate, for you to paint up for him. Okay, well that's good. We'll keep us posted as to what happens with that.
I'm gonna have to write it down because as soon as this ends, I'll go, "What was that Chronicles thing?" And I'll just it. And it needs to be on a piece of paper. I no longer attach them to my forehead. I just rely on finding the piece of paper at some point. Yeah. But I wouldn't think I could paint figures considering I can't even hold a piece of paper. I've spelt Arthurian wrong. Oh well.
Probably better than I can spell it, mate.
I've got a rebellious hand. I know how to spell things, but my hand just doesn't seem to care. And I'm watching
That's
myself.
why they invented phones, mate. Phones would spell check.
Yeah.
For me, it's basically right.
I love painting this way because it's great. You've undercoated, you've primed in brown, so you paint the horse, and in the act of painting the horse, in effect, it looks like you've painted all the leather as well. It's great. It's like magic. It's like you've painted two things at once. I love it.
Where's my mouse? There it is. Oh, I wasn't just seeing a comment there. Just seen a comment from Bleentron, was it? I've seen a bunch of recommendations for using thinned contrast / speed paints for glazing. Yeah, I can attest to that one. They work really well for it. Different colors, like for example, what is it for the reds? If you're using Games Workshop's contrast paints, I'll use Flesh Tearer's red over something like, say, Evil Sun Scarlet, because it'll actually darken it down, but it works as like sort of a wash without making the recesses black. It adds a real nice dark red to the recesses. And where they're the contrast paints, they're so thin. If you just want to layer back up to a brighter, stronger red from that, just thin your Evil Sun Scarlet down, or your brighter red, whatever paint range you're using, and just like glaze it on over a couple of layers, and you'll get a really nice like gradient from the darker, deeper red up to a brighter red from it. And it works like that with quite a few of the different contrast paints. I'm actually trying it. I'm going to try a different one with yellow. This one round, I'm doing, just bring that one in there. The little lightning bolts on the shoulder pad, I'm going to do it. I've done them starting off with Ural yellow. And then I'm going to use the, Imperial Fists contrast paint. I'm going to give it a go and see how that works, because it's a deeper yellow. So I'm wondering if it'll add like a deeper shade into the yellow that when you get into the recesses, rather than like using an orange or something. So Definitely, yeah. You can use contrast paints, speed paints, anything like that. Like you don't sometimes like thin them down. They work really well as glazes. You can use them straight as washes, and like the plastic one as well for wet blending. Like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
see, now I don't know what you mean by glazes, but I have decided that if whatever it is, if you do 2 layers, that must be double glazing.
Delicious.
It's not far off.
Glazing. Yep.
I mean, glazing is just where, say, let's try and think. Say you want to add, say you're doing your skin tones and you want to add a bit of like ruddiness to the cheeks.
Ah, I now understand.
Yeah. Glazing is basically just really
and wondered how it was done. I have actually seen that and thought, how the hell would you ever do that?
Yeah, just basically really thin your paint down. You'll often, if you watch videos on YouTube, people will often check it on like thumbnails and stuff, like on their like actual thumbnail or fingernail to like check the opacity of it.
I've seen figures where they look like they're cold. They look like they're in the cold and the damp, you know, like Russian fit. And you just think, how the hell have they not only painted a face, but made it look like the skin is flushed with the cold, sort of thing? You know?
Yeah, very just transparent kind of staining.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Yeah.
Maybe I should stop using only base paints.
We'll get you glazing in no time, Padre.
You can do it with any paint you like, mate. Just thin it down enough.
All right.
Yeah, I use a lot of the Nostalgia 94 glazes, which are excellent. I absolutely love that set. And I highly recommend those if you really want that 90s vibrancy. Yeah, if you really want to get that really super contrast, high vibrancy to your colors, yeah, grab a set of those, and that's really what you need if you want that 90s look.
There are all sorts of different mediums that you can get for thinning your paints down as well. Like water does work, but I think I've heard if you go too far with water, you can start breaking up the pigments in there, so you get a sort of a grainy chalky finish to it. You can get things like what is it, the Lamia Medium, which is Games Workshop's one, but that if I can remember what it is, there's a guy on YouTube did a video ages ago on how to make your own Lamia Medium, and it's basically the Winsor & Newton's Galleria range of, I think he used satin varnish, and you mix it with a bit of some distilled water, and there's something else, and you can make your own. But again, if you use like a contrast medium or something like that, which is the Games Workshop ones, I'm sure you'll probably find a lot of, like, any company that does their own version of the inks, basically they'll have a branded medium for it. I think I know GW do, so if Games Workshop do, like Vallejo and Army Painter probably do as well.
Yeah, and there's stuff at like Art and Supply Store, right? The flow improvers and
So I actually find a real good one. I find a real good one for thinning paints down is the flow improver from what's it? The airbrush flow improver.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I find that works really, really well if you use it undiluted. Just like have it in a separate one and mix it through, sort of thing. That works really well.
Mm-hmm.
I went the other direction too, and I don't know why I did this, but I painted a Skaven miniature with apple barrel paints just for fun to see,
Oh yeah.
Just real trash, horrible paints. But it felt kind of like the smell and everything was like, oh man, I remember this from like when I was 10.
Yeah.
Well, Bleentron said another one, but he's quite right as well. It's there's a very specific difference between thinning so far but not diluting it to the point that it's a wash. So you have to wick off some extra water a bunch if you do it that way. Because if it's the consistency of a wash, the pigment will just run away from where you need it, which is most aggravating. Yeah. Yeah, there is a definite. There's a sort of a. It's by feel, isn't it? I find a lot of the time by experience. That's why you never really see anyone on YouTube explaining exactly how to thin your paints down. I don't think. Like, it's always just you eventually get a feel of where you want the paint to be, and you can work with it the best. I think.
Yeah, because every bottle is like different too, like depending on the batch and all kinds of things, how long it's been sitting there.
Yeah.
There's the apple barrel Skaven.
Oh, nice.
That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, Appleberry is an American sort of hobby paint brand. Is that right?
Apple barrel, yeah.
Oh, Apple
It's
Barrel.
it's really, really cheap craft paint, essentially.
Yeah.
Like 98 cents for I can't remember what size. Oh, here they are. Yeah, this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I use it on terrain a bunch and basing and everything. Just because it's so cheap.
I use the cheap UK equivalent on scenery and such.
Yeah, there's like folk arts that's similar. Plaid. There's a bunch of them.
There's one called Americana or something.
Oh, I don't know.
James uses it here. He gets those paints when he goes into Tokyo and grabs them. He swears by them. He just paints all his stuff with those.
Oh yeah, I remember why I did. There's a guy on YouTube that paints with only that kind of paint forever and ever.
Right.
DM Gashbad, I think his name is.
Gashbad. That's a name and a half, isn't it?
Yeah, and his stuff looks great. It just takes him forever because he's, the paint's such trash that you got to really layer it up.
Yeah.
I'm not using layers. I'm putting this dark brown on these horses in the consistency of pitch. No layers necessary.
I may switch to your school here pretty soon with the amount of crap I have to do.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done 2 layers on anything in my life. In enamels, you never need 2 layers. Maybe a black undercoat and then yellow over the top. I think every now and again I had to put some more yellow on because the first layer of yellow didn't quite do it.
Yeah. It goes
Enamels
on like phlegm or something.
I think Duncan Rhodes just had a shiver run down his spine when you said that, Padre.
One giant thick layer of yellow.
Yeah.
If I could find some of my earliest, I could find a figure now painted in enamels in yellow in 1983. So I think it'll be in with the Brabants on. No, it'll be in with the Brabants on. They're easy to get to. Are you there? They are. On wargaming bases. That's enamels.
Yeah, cool.
I pretty much paint the same now. Why change? It's worked for 40 years. Carry on.
Yeah.
They can kill dudes just as good as any other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people still buy them in Japan because every time I go to my hobby shop here, there's just racks and racks of that stuff, all the enamel paint. So
yeah, for the airfix kits, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Leantron said as well. Padre, if you ever want to watch a guy doing tutorial videos on YouTube for painting where he breaks them down really well, a guy called Vince Venturella.
Vince Venturella.
Oh, yeah.
I'll write that down as well.
Yeah, he's excellent. He does really. They look like incredibly masterful techniques when they're finished, but he breaks them down really well for you.
Vince Venturella. Will it help me paint entire armies by the dozens every year?
Probably not.
I would say so, yeah, because he's very much about doing like almost overly refined finishes, but getting them done as quickly and as simply as you can.
Yeah, I spoke too soon. He's pretty high yield, that guy. Like he's,
yeah. He
cranks them out. So, but he got to that level and then started. He got good and then he got fast and good.
Yeah.
The channel's called Big Small Worlds. It's because everything in it's small, but it's a big world, so I need lots of small things. Lots of small things.
Oh, Dwarven Moustache Hobbying apparently lives in the same area that good old Duncan Rhodes lives in. She remembers when he worked in the local Games Workshop store. And Peachy too. Nice. That is one man I would like to quite meet.
I'm sure he's out Sheffield way, but I might be wrong. It might be Huddersfield. I don't know why I know it. Why the hell would I know where Dwarven Moustache is? He must have said something in one of his videos. I'm sure he's out Sheffield way.
Okay.
Right, just noticed what the time is, gents. I'm afraid I'm going to have to check out because I've got work at 5:30 in the morning.
No, that's cool, mate. I think
have a good one.
We'll wrap up in about 20 or so minutes because I've got to head off as well. And I'm sure you guys probably want to get to sleep. Sleeping is important.
Yeah, that's what they say.
To keep a steady hand when painting miniatures, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Josh.
Now.
Josh.
Yes, mate. Yeah, mate.
So,
Yeah, I haven't.
anyway, it's been a pleasure, gents.
Oh,
Fairly well.
see ya.
Okay, see you, mate.
Yeah, have a good one,
Danny.
sir.
Take care.
Have a good one. And I will hopefully
See you,
see you all again very
See you
soon.
later.
Okay,
Yes.
mate. Take care.
Bye bye.
80, tell me, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've not talked to you since I did that game with Johnny Watson.
You haven't. So please tell us all about it.
Oh, it was. Let me put it this way. It was everything that I could have possibly asked for, and a whole lot more. It was just amazing, absolutely brilliant game. Well, in fact, we played 2 games, and they were both absolutely brilliant. So just in case anybody doesn't know, we played Epic 2nd Edition. John took Orcs and I took Space Marines. We started off with I think it was 2,000 points, and the first game we did like that, and that was great. And then we did the second game. We knocked it down to 1,500, and we played that one through. Just awesome. I think the only thing we did from a rules point of view that we managed to get not quite as right was shooting at people in buildings. And that was probably the only thing we were inaccurate with. But apart from that, everything was we were. I couldn't stop smiling, couldn't stop laughing. It was just awesome. Yeah. Seeing those pulsar rockets come land amongst my troops and just sitting there going, "Oh my goodness, is it going? What's it going to do?" Was just so funny. And I mean, fortunately for me, it was like they always managed to not knock down one of my buildings with all my guys in. But it was really great. I have to say. I mean, I haven't. I need to message him really to see how he's doing. I haven't heard anything from him since. But apart from we remember some of his maps that he was putting together for the report he was going to do. But I haven't heard anything else from him really. So I need to drop him a line and say hi.
Yeah,
that was really brilliant.
I know. I'm really glad you guys got to do that, and it sounded like you had a really good time. And I look forward to Johnny's report at some point.
Yes,
sounds excellent.
I mean, one thing I would say, and I'll say here now, if there's anyone who lives in the Midlands who wants to play 2nd Edition Epic, I'm your man.
Right.
I'll
Okay,
be
mate.
well up for it.
Sounds like a.
I've got been putting together terrain. In fact, that's been the main project this month. Actually, has been putting together terrain. I've put together tokens and blast markers because getting hold of those quite difficult. So I ended up buying MDF stuff and making my own, which was really good fun. Actually, I really enjoyed doing that. So
that's good, man.
I've got all the gaming stuff, everything, board, the lot. And if anyone fancies a game, or who's never played Epic and would fancy a game, I'm putting it out there that I'd be well up for it. You know, yeah.
Awesome,
I think as long as it's Midlands based.
Right, okay. Well, Emperor Jim, where are you, mate? I think maybe I asked you this before, but if you're in the Midlands, then I think you should sort out a date with 80 to go down there and have a game with him, mate. Because I know Emperor Jim's a massive Epic fan, but he plays solo too. He doesn't play with anybody. So we need to get you guys connected somehow. But
that sounds good.
let us know where you live, mate. Who else is it? Midlands. Yeah, I don't think Rich and Jace are in the Midlands, are they? They're in South England? I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, maybe they're too far away, mate. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, I'm putting the offer out there, and you know, it's and we'll see what happens. But Jonny and I will be playing again, and this time I'll go to him rather than him come to me, and we'll sort something out as soon as we can get. But God, honestly, man, it was just damn fabulous. It was so good. And it's interesting. I was listening to guys talking about competitive gaming and stuff like that. And Space Marine, Epic Space Marine, the second edition is designed as a competitive war game, but it doesn't feel competitive. It's just it you know, once you've got the rules down, you're just kind of just moving your stuff about and having a great time, what have you. It's just wonderful. I absolutely love it.
Yep. That's good, mate. Yeah, I'm really glad you got into it and got to play it at least after all that time painting and collecting all those models. So, good use.
I had quite a laugh because Jonny had a look. I got out all my cases with all my stuff in, and he was just like, "Oh, and there's another case full of stuff. Oh, and there's another case full of stuff." And it's just because it's bonkers, really. I've got so many. If someone didn't have miniatures, they could, they could come and. I've got them. I said to Tony, if you need anything, I've probably got it. At least as far as troops are concerned. I mean, where vehicles are concerned, it's a lot harder because the vehicles are just so expensive, and a lot of the time, I think for certain tanks and stuff, I'm probably going to have to look at getting proxies and what have you. But as far as like troops and what have you, I've got tons of it, absolutely tons of it. So,
right. What kind of tanks you after, mate? What tanks you after? Let me know. Let me know.
Well,
what stuff you're after?
I will do. I'll have a look and see what I mean.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I've got. I mean, particularly, I was gifted. You saw the Lehman Russes that I popped up.
Yeah.
That I painted in the last couple of days. I mean, that was a gift from someone, and they said, "Hey, I'm not going to paint." He gave me an absolute ton of epic stuff, and I'd have never gotten round to putting those together otherwise, which was really great, and the artillery as well. But I'll have a look through and see if there are any kind of what I think are major gaps that I would like to get more stuff. I think certainly predators are one thing. I wouldn't mind.
I've actually got some. in a bag here, which are like the 40k version, not the Epic Space Marine, but the 40k one, the sort of next edition of it.
They look
if you're
great.
interested in those, mate, I'm happy to send those off to you because they're just sitting in a bag. They're just going to sit here. So I'll happy to send those. I've got those
that would be absolutely.
Vindicators and I think some other bits and pieces. And I'll send you a photo. I'll tell you what I've got, and I'll just send them on to you, mate. That's no problem at all. Okay.
Okay, great stuff. And I'll have a look through, and then we'll sort something out.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll pay postage, and what have you say.
Oh, no, don't worry about that. That's fine. That's okay. No problem. Okay, so I'm happy they're going to a good home.
Look, cool. I'm going to have to push off anyway,
no
but I've got all my guys done. What I'll do is I'll post up I'll take a photograph of them and post them up in the next day or so and what have you, and then people can see what I've done. So. Right, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved listening to you guys talk. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I'll see you soon.
Take care
Have a good one, sir.
And
A good one.
See you again next time, mate. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
See you, mate. And then there were 4.
Yep. Cheers.
Yeah, you got slots open now again.
Yeah, we got because Jonny said, "Oh, I was gonna pop in, but I can't now." So Jonny can jump in and Tom can jump in, but realistically, I'm going to have to push off in the next 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So in that time, I'm going to start getting the painting done.
Do you know I'm painting the last horse of 12? I've done some black ones, dark grey, light grey, brown. Finally, on the very last one, I'm doing a reddish brown, and it's the nicest colour. And I can't do it on any others now because I've painted all the others. I've finally found a colour I like, kind of nutmeg colour. And only one. It's going to have a special rider on him, this one. This is my favourite horse in this unit.
Yeah, I had a paint called Cavalry Brown, which I never had really use for. But it's a really nice reddish brown for horses. I think that's probably the most common colour for a horse, isn't it?
Brilliant. Tell me that when I've only got one horse in that colour. I've just been mixing things. A lot of the time I waste a lot of paint. I just mix some red in with the brown I was using. And then I put some paint I'd been using earlier, but that had gone kind of gloopy. So that experiment went wrong. So then I had to get more brown out and more red. I've wasted vast amounts of paint just trying to create this colour. I do like it, but only one horse can be it. I should have done more horses. The horse in my highwayman character has a nutmeg horse. Why didn't it occur to me to start painting them in this kind of colour? Oops.
Yeah.
A blood bay mare, which is indeed a reddish brown. Blood bay. I think it's a reddish brown.
Yeah. Well, you're already a rare breed, so.
That's it.
Maybe they're rare in Thailand.
Yeah.
There was a whole regiment. What do they call the Scots Greys? A whole regiment in the Crimean War and the Napoleonic Wars, and they were all on grey horses.
Oh, right.
I thought grey was a common colour. That's why I started with grey, thinking that must be a common. Otherwise, how did they equip several thousand men with horses?
Yeah.
Genetic super horses.
Yep.
Destriers, Rounces, and Palfreys. The 3 horses a knight would have. The Destrier for fighting. I think the Rounces for riding and the Palfreys for the squire. But I might have got the last 2 the wrong way round. That was stuff we learnt for a first edition Warhammer. We wanted to get all these details right. My brother was playing a knight, so me and him wanted to get all the details right. Don't think horses are natural fighters, which is why you need a special breed.
Yeah.
Well, unless in Warhammer, because in Warhammer they're deadly, mate.
I know it's mad, isn't it? I think
Best
the fancy world drives them crazy. Either that or they sprinkle a little bit of warpstone in their feed.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm awake now. So that was good. That sort of woke me up this last couple of hours of painting and talking. So I appreciate that, guys. It's been good. I'll go through. Oh, GM Cody's here. How you going, mate? Good to see you.
Oh, he said he was going to join us.
Bring a battle in the southwest of England, Plymouth. Okay. Plymouth, Portsmouth. Are they both in the south of the UK? I don't know.
About as far south as you can go.
Okay, well then you go. There you go. You got Emperor Jim. I think he's in your area there, Rich. So you guys can get together and have a game of Epic Space Marine. I mean, I'm not going to ask you when that's going to be because I've given up on that now. But when you actually do get to play it, then you can get Emperor Jim down for a game, mate. He can bring his Chaos Army. Yeah. Okay, looks like you're going well there, Matt, with your Skaven. Is it Skaven or Dwarves?
Those are
Did I just
Dwarves,
call
yeah.
Dwarves Skaven? Oh man, that was the biggest insult I could ever give a dwarf, isn't it? Calling
Yeah,
them
how
Skaven.
dare you? You're going right into the Book of Grudges there.
I think if we called him a goblin, that would have been even worse.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, a Stotling.
I did do a ton of Skaven in this, white ancient plastic though, so that's probably where you're.
Yeah, I'm just
grabbing that
that
from.
because they're all sort of posed the same. They had the swords like that as well.
Actually, I think they'd be angry if you called them elves.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about anything other than.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, and you're using a lot of the Oathmark plastics, is that right? In those regiments?
Oh
mate?
yeah. So what do we got? Now, back here is a bunch of 80s Citadel barbarians and stuff.
Oh, cool.
These guys are 3D printed from Celtic miniatures.
Oh,
These,
right, yeah. Ian.
Marauders. I usually use these guys as just standard, barbarian goons. And then
I won't call them Celtic miniatures because Owen got very upset when I said Celtic last time.
That is a basketball team.
Very nasty message. And I said, well,
That's
hang on.
a football team.
Oh, that's what I said. The football team's called Celtic. Why is it called Celtic?
Do you guys have a football team of
Yeah,
Celtics
Glasgow
as well?
Celtic.
That's funny.
They've just won.
Yeah,
they've
Glasgow
just won
Celtics.
something.
Yeah.
So they do that with
Oh,
them
do they?
too, huh? Yeah, we've got the Boston Celtics, which is a basketball team.
Sci-fi's here. My God, you're late, mate. What's going on?
This guy's a Redbox Games
Oh yeah.
fella. Yeah, Skidge had an army unit standard that I needed. Here's Krogile, the guy that Skidge is playing.
Oh right. Oh cool.
And then there's some Victrix in here among the slingers. I raided my Baron's War box for some
Cool.
peasant slingers as well. These are all thralls, but there's a bunch of different stuff in there. Victrix and War Games Atlantic, Dark Age Irish in there. These are all Oathmark. These archers here. This is from their light infantry box. And then this is this is Dark Age Irish, Victrix, Ancient Germanics.
Cool.
And some of the Baron's War levy, peasant levy stuff.
Did you pick up the box set, mate? The second edition box set?
Yes, I did. It came a couple days
very
ago,
good.
actually. Finally.
Good on you, mate. Nice one.
Yeah, they were. They got. It was nice to see them get hammered for orders.
Yeah, they did. They certainly did, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, so it took them a while to get all that stuff out. But yeah, right
So
now
you've
I'm
been
having a hard time
modeling your-
engineering rank and file and getting them to line up. These guys, these super thick
These
dwarves.
Yeah. I see you've been modelling your index finger there too, mate.
Yeah, I've got the last couple days, all kinds of wounds from.
It's a dangerous hobby.
Yeah, I've been kit bashing myself into the
So did you say
authentic
some of them were
blood.
Oathmark?
What's that?
Did you say some of them were Oathmark?
Yeah, these archers down here.
All right.
They're from the light human infantry box that came out recently.
I've got primed 30 Oathmark dwarfs, but the dwarf
beautiful.
faction don't seem to be doing much, so they've been put on a back burner. But I've been dying to paint them because I really like them.
They're great. Yeah, my friend Mark, who's playing the dwarves on the map, we recently had a siege game between Skaven and dwarves, and he's using a bunch of Oathmark stuff. Right. And it's the first game of the first proper battle of our campaign. We're also smushing in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay First Edition.
Excellent.
And using Warhammer Fantasy Battle Third. So in theory, that's all the stuff that was cross compatible.
Yeah.
But it's not really. But they did he's using just about everything Oathmark dwarves. And the first battle we had was a siege game, and we broke out the third edition siege book, which was very complicated, but pretty pretty crunchy and interesting.
I did some convention games where the first session was Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, where you were sent in to do some sort of sabotage or something. I think they were trying to blow up powder supplies in this pirates depot on this island. And then the Sunday was the battle. And the battle had the figures in from the role-playing scenario the day before. And the pirates' powder supplies was based on how successful or not the players had been in the previous day.
Ah,
so
cool.
They'd really gone for it and blown up lots of the powder. The pirates were only allowed to shoot twice in the entire game, sort of thing, which for a gunpowder army was a bit, I can't actually remember how it went, but I remember running it. I did several. I also did one with Middenheim Pistoliers trying to what were they trying to do? They were trying to lure a part of a Skaven army away, and if they'd been successful in the scenario, then the next day there'd be a lot less Skaven on the field of battle.
Yeah, awesome.
Sort of thing. Yeah,
I love when stuff overlaps like that. Yeah, so this whole barbarian throwdown is the result of in fantasy roleplay, Skidge hired some men to infiltrate his rival brother's camp and put up insulting posters up everywhere to lure him into battle and away from a gold mine. And I had him, roll a bunch of stealth checks on his men and stuff, and awareness checks on the pickets and stuff and the guards that were in the camp. But he managed to get some up, and then I had the leader of the army. He had to pass a cool test to see how it affected him personally, and he failed spectacularly. So he just picked up his whole army and marched. It caused a geopolitical event and stuff. And so now we're going to see what happens.
Nice, man.
Cool. All right, so I'm done with the crew now, so I guess I'll head off to bed.
Yeah, I'm going to have to call it, guys, because I need to wake up my little boy ready for school. So I really appreciate everyone coming on. Matthias, it's really good to see you, and Matt especially too. Glad you guys could make it today. And Padre, thanks again, mate. And Adi and Danny. Who else do we have on? Is that it? Is that our 6? I think that's our 6.
Yeah, there were
thanks.
quite a bunch.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for letting me crash the party.
No problem. I'll have to take bookings now. I mean, God,
yeah.
Serious now, isn't it? As Splatter Natters. But for everybody who's joined us in the live chat, really appreciate that. I hope you got some painting done. And I know, because I know some of these Splatter Natters really help motivate people to get some paint on their minis, which is the main thing why we do these. So until next time, guys, hopefully we're back next week. I can't guarantee anything at this stage, but we'll see how we go. If there is going to be a Splatter Natter, you'll get a nice reminder and a post up on the channel to notify you about that and what time. It should be around about the same time. Sunday evening seems to be the best time for, I think, most people to come and chat with us before the work week starts. I won't remind you. That's 8 hours away. Matthias is not looking forward to it already. I can see it in his face.
No.
Yeah.
And
it's not even 4 p.m. here, so I'm good.
Yeah,
you're okay, mate.
So,
yeah. You can still get a few beers in to forget about the work week.
I could try to put some paint on some of this stuff. So maybe do some priming after I base some stuff.
A lovely chestnut horse. No, not
mate, good stuff. Yeah. It looks just like Cabaret Brown. You did well. You did very well.
There you go.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much again. See you again next time. Take care. And
thank you. Ta-ta.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.
Good one. Yep.
Okay. See you next time. Bye-bye.